I was actually half-time Cincinnati Public Schools, and I was half-time Cincinnati Children's Hospital. And my sole goal was to learn from Cincinnati Children's Hospital tools and methods of continuous improvement that were being used in healthcare and figure out how to bring that into the space of education. Approached by a local partnership, much like SAM, a Strive partnership with Cincinnati Children's, and they said, you need to take this continuous improvement course. And I was like, absolutely not. There's just no way. I don't have that kind of time. You're asking me to give up time that I don't have. I'm not going to be able to do the work, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm lucky they were persistent because I finally caved and I sat in this course. And you'll see, I finished the course in spring. And it was a challenge because it shifted my thinking in so many ways. In the space of education, we kind of roll everything out big, right? We find some new thing, material, everybody do it, we're all gonna do it. And they were like, wow, you need to go really small, and you need to really learn if even what you have is working. And I'm thinking, what do you mean? Like, we've spent that, you know, what do you mean? And they were like, well, how do you know you're using some of the right stuff? And for real in education, we do a lot of things because it's a funding issue. That's a reality. We don't have tons of money. So one of the things I had picked, you'll see here, is a ready test that was used in every classroom in our district. Every single teacher was supposed to get on and do it. It was done in computer labs, and yet we hadn't done any types of samplings. We hadn't run any run charts to even see if kids were doing well. We're also becoming proficient in third grade or even on grade level, and that's what my project was. It was picking 25 kids only out of 12,000 kids and tracking them every single week to see if we can get them to score higher on ready tests, did they actually become better readers? That was my project, and that really shifted my mind. Even though it was very small, my whole thought process changed. And so that spring, I had made up my mind that I was going down the path of continuous improvement. And mostly because it was not some new program, wasn't a new textbook, it wasn't a new piece of software, but I believed if we could train our teachers in how to be better engaged in their practices and reflecting on their practices, truly monitoring their little population of kids in their classroom and feeding that information to me, we could really begin to see what was working and what wasn't working in our district. And so I put together a team, and honestly, you know, I think about that spring, it was crazy. Like, I just picked 15 teachers out of 600 and said, hey, will you go down this road with me and help me build this out? We had no idea if it was going to work or not work. We hopped on a plane, we went and saw Menominee, we took notes and pictures, and then because of the work I had done with Cincinnati Children's, they came in and helped us get the foundations laid. Part of what you'll see today are some of those foundational pieces. And that fall, that fast, 15 teachers only, it was only 15 teachers out of almost 600. And you're right, the impact isn't big for the district at that, but the impact we had with those 15 teachers and their children in their classrooms was huge. What you'll see on the back is some comparative data. CI made a difference. That spring, our CI cohort, we call it a QI, mostly because children's called it quality improvement, not continuous improvement. But in the fall, which are the two yellow lines, we had our QI school cohort of 238 kids, and we picked a comparable group of 275. And children's did that for us, and they were comparable by demographics, poverty levels, veteran teachers, new teachers, same kind of mix. And you'll see that they started almost at the same point, 43%, 39%. But when we looked at the number of kids meeting an on-track score at the end of the year, it was significantly different. Our non-QI schools actually fell in progress. They weren't even keeping up with the pacing of one full year of instruction. And so that was really a big learning. Like we were ecstatic because we could feel it, you know, when you're like on a trip and you can just like, I mean, just the momentum, the excitement, we could see the differences in our kids, but this was proof that it was making a difference. So we decided to expand, and the following year we went to 85 teachers in our district. Began using quality improvement tools, techniques, and the PDSAs you'll hear about today. And I think it's really important because those elements that we did is really kind of what I'm bringing to your district. We believe it's like a bundled package. You have to do PD, you have to do weekly tests of change. We're going to talk about that today because if it's not weekly, you lose the momentum. You need to start establishing weekly huddles. That was part of what we did. It's just, we'll talk a little about that. You need periodic data reviews to see what the data is even doing, and some ongoing CI support that can happen in multiple ways. But that was like our prototype of what was working. And what we were seeking is what's working, what's not working, where are there gaps, where are there errors, and my only job was to make it happen. So when the teachers were feeding me new learnings, I had to take that and do something with it. But at the end of our second year, what I think is most fascinating is look at the difference in the chart. At the very beginning, we were just like, how many kids did math? But because of our CI training, we started moving to looking at our kids in segmentations, which we took from healthcare. We were crosswalking our map and our DIBELS data, which is something we had never even, quite frankly, considered to do. It evolved as teachers were saying, why aren't we looking at these together? And with the help of some of our partners, we built out 12 segments of kids. So the very bottom, like purplish color, those kids are not on track MAP and not on track DIBELS. The very top quadrant, the blues, would be kids that are proficient in MAP and well above in DIBELS. And we could see where all of our kids fell within all of those spectrums. And what's really important about that is all of our QI classrooms, we outperformed 9 out of 12 of those segments, the non-QI classrooms. So not only were we just moving, we were moving more kids just in general, no matter where they fell. Whether it was the bottom tiers or the upper tiers or the middle tiers, we were starting to shift and move more kids along the way. And we got more sophisticated in how we were looking at our students and much better about what the interventions were for our students. And so as the journey continued, we just kept adding cohorts of teachers. This was not something, and it still is not something, that is completely spread even among all K-3 teachers in Cincinnati. This is a slow roll and a slow process. And it started just like this, with groups of willing people that were saying, I'm interested, I think there's something about this that I could latch onto, and I'm gonna help bring this, and you will be the part of the groups that will take this journey forward in Spartanburg. And you'll begin to collect your own data so that looking back, you'll be able to start telling what that story is. Thoughts? questions, reactions?